Hi, everybody. This is Norm DeVay with Copa Health. I'm the Vice President of Marketing, and this is the Copa Roundup for Lucky Friday the 13th, May. I always say Lucky Friday the 13th, but I remember when I was a freshman in college, and now I'm really dating myself. Back in 1983 on Friday the 13th, it was the last day of my finals, and I accidentally cut my finger, and it almost came completely off, and so I had to miss my last final. So I can't tell if that was because of my aversion to finals or if I was just being careless that day. But either way, Friday the 13th has a special place in my heart, especially May, Friday the 13th. You know, and May is also International Nurses Month, or Nurses Recognition Month, and this is Nurses Week, so Nurses Recognition Week. And, you know, to celebrate, we've got our Director of Nursing and Innovation, and she's also our Infection Control Officer, Aspen StJohn, back on the Copa Roundup today, and it is so great to have her. Aspen, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Norm, and I'm glad to be here as well. I'm very proud to represent our Copa nurses here today.
Well, as you know, and I think I've told you this for a long time, you're my second favorite nurse because my wife is also a nurse, and I want to make sure that I don't ever, bypass her because she had a long career in peds ICU nursing, and but you are my second favorite nurse, and you're one of my favorite people to talk about fiction with. So it's just so good to have you on. But so as I mentioned, it's National Nurses Month, and this is National Nurses Week. As a leader in Copa, as a leader with the nursing, can you tell us about your background, how you came to Copa, and how you got your current position and what you do in your current position?
Sure. So originally I'm from New York, but after high school, I moved to Michigan and studied nursing there. From there, in November of 2009, I moved to Arizona, and my first job in Arizona was as a staff nurse for Partners in Recovery, which we all know we eventually partnered with Mark Community Resources to become the Copa Health that we know today. I became West Valley's lead nurse in 2010, and then in 2013 entered into administrative nursing as an integrated care coordinator when we introduced the integrated health concept company-wide. In 2016, I became the first director of nursing and also infection control officer too. A fun fact about me is that our now Director of Quality Management, Norm Sartor, was the one who hired me back in the day, and because he was the West Valley site administrator at the time. So I guess I have to say I owe it all to Norm.
Well, we're going to make sure that we delineate between Norm Sartor and Norm DeVay, so that when you say you owe it all to Norm, we know that you're talking about Norm Sartor, my good friend. I talk about Norm all the time because there's not a whole lot of norms around anymore. But and I also have to tell you, thank you so much, because I don't know if people caught it, but you are also in the infection control officer, and that means that you had a big job during COVID, and I think you have done a good job, and you continue to do a good job with COVID. So thank you so much for that. So Aspen, I know we're growing. We're constantly growing. So by the time this is, posted, we may already change it. But how many nurses do we have at Copa? And, what types of various positions do they have? What do they do? And how do they make a difference, especially in the lives of the members that we serve here at Copa Health?
So right now we have 30 nurses, and they serve our members in the community through our integrated health solutions health homes, and also where they live in our housing and residential placement programs. We have registered, licensed practical, and pool nurses too, and they work to serve ACT, supportive, and connective members for IHS, and also members in the IDDD community who need in-home nursing services within their COPA placements. Our nurses always offer caring, non-judgmental kindness, and they support our members emotionally, mentally, and physically. Our staff have a great connection with our nurses too, and for a very good reason. They're honest, they're reliable, and they can be trusted to listen, care, and problem solve for our members, no matter what the problem might be. And Norm, did you know that for the 20th year in a row, nursing has been ranked #1 in the most trusted profession in America in the Gallup Honesty and Ethics poll? That's a mouthful. And that's because nurses have huge professional integrity and the most direct service connection to those they care for. And that's an integral bond which just can't be broken.
Well, I always know that nurses are one of the most trusted professions out there. They're, some of the most trustworthy people just in general, caring and kind, but I did not know for 20 years in a row that they've been rated there. So I'm glad I got a little bit of documentation to back that up. So when I go home and I tell my wife how important nurses are, she'll just say, "Oh, I knew that." It's always kind of funny. So, Aspen, how can our staff members, our families, even our members, or anybody out there that's watching this, honor nurses during National Nurses Week and International Nursing Month? I just think it's so important that people know that they should be honoring nurses. I know how I would, simply by thanking them, but what other things can people do?
So, our Copa nurses are constantly thinking about the best way to provide care for others. So we can honor this work by helping them carry that caring approach forward. We can also let our nurses know that we see the long hours they put in and recognize the dedication, integrity, and their just deep compassion that they always have for members and staff alike. We can thank them for choosing to be nurses, because I know that's a calling that not everybody hears. And we can also thank them for leading us through the last 2 COVID years with just fearless professionalism and not a single work from home day. We can also show them that we're grateful for their work and support with kind words, as you mentioned, Norm, maybe a Starbucks coffee, a sweet treat, or even a thank you note. Those are all just really great ways to show our support and appreciation for the nurses that we have at Copa.
Well, I know that I won't be able to get around to all of them, but I do know that I owe you an appreciation lunch. We have lunch every once in a while, actually a lot more before COVID hit, but someday we will get back together and I will be able to show you how much I appreciate that. And I noticed a little bit of a Freudian slip there. I know for a while you got your start over at the West Valley Clinic, and I know over at West Valley they always call themselves the Best Valley, best in the Valley. And so it was kind of, when you said West, I think that that's probably something where everybody in the West Valley, they have fond feelings for you, and Norm Sartor also because of your connection with their clinic over there. But Aspen, I know that it's been a very, very difficult couple of years with COVID. I know you've been at the epicenter of the response that Copa Health has had for COVID. Most of the communication coming out about what we're doing or what we're going to do and how we're going to handle situations comes from you. So let me ask you something a little bit under the auspice of People First here at Copa Health. How are you doing? You hanging in there? Everything going all right with you? I'm always hoping that you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Norm. I have to say, I just absolutely love my work and my job and everyone that I work with. I'm really fortunate in that I get to travel to all of our different locations every week. And so my family is a really expanded one. And it is amazing that I still get to connect with members as well as staff. And that just always puts me in a great spirit. And I'm very happy to be a nurse and represent just the amazing nurses that we have at Copa.
Well, in addition to being a nurse, Aspen, you're one of the primary examples of why people love to work here at Copa Health, why we have such a great culture. So thank you so much for joining us this week on the Copa Roundup.
Yeah, thank you, Norm. It's been great to be here. I appreciate it.
Well, wonderful. Hey, everybody, that is our Copa Roundup for this week. Next week, on May 20th, Friday, May 20th, which isn't nearly as cool as Friday the 13th in May, we are going to be celebrating Global Employee Health and Fitness Month. And I believe that we're going to have our good friend, the health and wellness coach for the staff here at Copa Health, Michelle Spear, back with us. So everybody join us then. And until then, like so much of the advice that Aspen's put out there over the last couple of years, if you haven't gotten your vaccination or if you haven't gotten your booster for COVID-19, go out and get it. It's just still so important. But I'm also telling people, make sure that you take care of yourself in other ways too, whether it's mental health, whether it's self-care, whether it's getting the flu shot. And I hate needles. So if I'm suggesting that, it means that I've already gone out and done it. So I want you to go out and do it too. See you all next week, May 20th. Hopefully we're going to have some beautiful weather. Take care.
Bye, everyone.